Good to see you, James.
Good to see you too.
How have you
Annamarie.
been?
I'm doing well.
Good. I'm with James Keipp, the director of our AP Readiness Project here in Center X. And AP Readiness is one of the few projects in the center that's very student focused. It's direct service to students. Can you tell us a little bit about the program?
AP Readiness supplies supplemental instruction to students and teachers, traditionally in science and math. A few years ago we added English, and the exciting news of this year is that we're adding social studies and Spanish language and literature to the program.
Mm-hmm.
So we've actually gone from holding the event once a month to now 2 Saturdays per month. And students from all over Los Angeles attend the program, and they get 4 hours of additional instruction in their advanced placement subject of their choice. Last year we averaged about 2,500 students per session.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, our first STEM, as we call it, math, science, and computer science, we had about 2,200 students.
Wow.
And our next event will be our humanities with English, social studies, and Spanish, and we're expecting about the same number.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking to provide support and instruction for almost over 4,000 students just this month.
Wow. So walk me through a day of AP Readiness. I know they're usually held on Saturday.
They're held on Saturdays,
and that
correct.
teachers and students come together.
Correct.
We try to have teachers and students
Yes,
come
yes.
together.
That is the preferred situation, but we don't exclude students if their teachers can't make it,
Okay.
because we do want to be able to provide support for the young people, even if they're not getting the adult support at
Mm-hmm.
school. And so a day starts with arrival about 8:30. Generally, we're on South Campus, and you get all the kids coming over by the inverted fountain, so they get a nice introduction to the campus and one of the iconic, structures of the campus. We have our information booth with our AP Readiness sign,
Mm-hmm.
and our student workers out there with our agendas and maps, helping students and teachers find where they need to go. Then classes start. We have 2 sessions of classes. We have a morning session that runs from 9 to 11, and so students are in class for 2 hours. Then for most subjects, they pick a second topic within that subject, and they'll go to that class from 11:15 to 1 o'clock. So each time they'll get 4 hours of instruction, but 2 separate topics.
Mm-hmm.
And we leave them up to them to choose which topics they want to go to. So for example, AP Biology, we offer generally 12 to 15 different classes.
Mm-hmm.
So students can go pick a class that they want to do for review. Their classroom teachers already taught it, and maybe they want to get some more information on it. They can take a class that they're working on right at that moment, so they can understand it better and maybe get ahead. Or they can take a class that they know they're going to take soon,
Mm-hmm.
and so be up on the information. From September through February, we pretty much focus on content and build in some test-taking skills. The March and April sessions tend to flip that and focus on, passing the test and some of the test-taking skills with content as the basis that they do that.
So why is it important for teachers to participate alongside their students?
Well, we believe there's several reasons for that. One, students always feel more supported when their teachers are there. It's great for the students to see the teachers as learners.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, oftentimes students think of the teachers as this entity that
They
doesn't
know
relate.
everything.
Yeah, that they know everything, or they don't want to be like us. But to see teachers in the classroom sitting and learning, taking notes, doing the sample problems
Mm-hmm.
alongside the students, I think builds a greater bond between teachers and students. And then finally, the teachers are there learning. We have our master instructors, which doesn't necessarily mean that one instructor is better than another, but teaching is always learning from each other. And so it's our professional development style, our approach to collaboration is that as our instructors are presenting the lessons, our participating teachers are learning from them, and then we set aside an hour where it's just the adults together for our lunch hour, and the students have a chance to explore the campus until the buses leave at 2 o'clock. And during that hour, the teachers from the disciplines can then collaborate. They can share stories, they can share materials, they can talk about issues they're having with a lab or a particular concept, and work together to kind of share skills and strengths.
Yeah. So one of the primary outcomes or goals of the center is to increase student outcomes for underrepresented students that traditionally are Black and brown students that live in poverty. So I know that, how does AP Readiness fit into that goal of the center, and what are some of the challenges for you as a director in meeting that goal?
So AP Readiness is primarily made up of Los Angeles Unified School District students, and now we have an agreement with Compton, so Compton students are coming. So on one level, that increased our level of Black and brown students. The LA Unified has a majority of Latino, and that's kind of reflected in our program. We do struggle with the African American population. Partly, there may be a case of not as many African American students are enrolled in AP classes, and then during our outreach to the predominantly African American schools, we've had issues with adults kind of taking that, taking on the mantle to get the kids here. Because in order for a school to really participate in AP Readiness, it takes the adults at the site to kind of rally the kids, be a leader, come and learn with the kids. And that hasn't quite caught hold as much at, say, Dorsey and Crenshaw and schools like that. They've come on small levels, but nothing consistent like some of our other schools. Yeah. Our East Side schools come deep. Actually, most of the regions have representatives, but there's particular schools that we tried to target, and LA Unified actually now is doing some of their own targeting, where they're going to meet with leaders at the school and tell them this is how kids, become participants in this program. So they're working to do that a little more.
And that's the way it's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be a partnership between the schools and the university, and since they have the high touch with the students, it would kind of make sense that they would shepherd them along.
Yeah, and that's what it takes. It takes kind of a shepherd at the school site. If it's an administrator who says this is something we're going to do, and we're going to provide the support and resources to get kids and teachers there, or if it's an individual teacher in one classroom who decides I'm going to bring my whole class. Those kids come to the program and then go back to school talking about how much they enjoyed it, how much they learned, and then it starts to spread from there. Yeah. But it's interesting how the word of mouth works. When I took over the program about a decade ago, it had kind of leveled off in terms of its size. It had kind of maxed out at around 600 or 700 students participating in any given month, and then we just did a big recruitment. Yeah. Kind of tripled that size, and now we're obviously it got bigger, so we had to separate some of the subjects, and it's just at the point trying to provide as much opportunity for as many students as possible, and then looking at the avenues to do that for those who haven't been able to take advantage of the program so far.
I think one of the testaments to that work that you're doing is that you now are working with the faculty at UC Riverside.
Correct.
To expand AP Readiness to another university. Yes. So it's not just word of mouth amongst the participants, but it's also a reputation of the value of AP Readiness.
Yeah, and so it's building kind of through areas. The Riverside County Office of Education got a college and career readiness grant, and so they saw a gap there in their college readiness support for students. And they were familiar with the program. We presented at one of the College Board AP conferences, and they saw us there. And so it took about 1.5 years, 2 years to build the partnership. But now we do have AP Readiness at Riverside. We started last year. This is our second year, so we averaged about 500 students last year. We had our first event 2 weeks ago when we had 1,200 students.
Wow.
So talk about word of mouth. I mean, just within Riverside, we more than doubled participation in 1 year. And it's all about building adult relationships. One of the catalysts at Riverside had a relationship with Compton Unified. And so she, the gentleman at Compton was asking her, we need support too. How does this work? What are you guys doing? And she put us back together. We had worked with Compton in the past, but we hadn't worked with them for a few years, so we got together with one of their district administrators, and now Compton is bringing anywhere between 100 to 200 students per session.
Good work always spreads, James.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question.
Okay.
What is the success rate of students that go through AP Readiness on the actual passing of their APs?
So from the data that we've collected and we've analyzed, students who attend AP Readiness, and we try to set a threshold of 4 of 8 times, just, you know, they've come half of the opportunities that they had.
Mm-hmm.
We found that students who attend pass at a 20% higher rate than the district average, and we've done analysis like inside a classroom. So students within, say, Dr. Francois' class, half of them came to AP Readiness, half of them didn't. The students who come to AP Readiness pass at about a 12 to 15% higher rate. And with that, and then there's some things you can't measure.
Mm-hmm.
It's the time that students spend on a college campus. It's the relationships they build with other students. Some of the perceptual breakdown, or breaking down some of the perceptual barriers of what an East Side student is versus a West Side versus a Valley kid. A lot of these kids have never interacted with each other on a personal learning level. Mm-hmm. So this, AP Readiness brings kids together from all over the city of Los Angeles, where they get to meet each other, get to know each other, and maybe start to learn more and appreciate more what everyone has to offer. Mm-hmm. So the power of ignorance.
Yeah, cool beans. Give me some.
Thank you.